is it, though?
What is it? What could it be? You want to indulge with me?
Cheers.
You're going to have to bleep this out, but holy...
Welcome back. I'm here with 4-time world champion from Plowboys, Todd Johns himself. What do we got going on here, Todd?
All right, well, I went to Argentina in November and had a great time there and got to learn a little bit about Argentinian style asado, their style of grilling and barbecue. Very, very different than what we have here in the United States. We're gonna do a full-on cook today and try to do our take on asado. We're gonna start though with some really traditional American beans, some barbecue pit beans, and we're gonna use some of my Bean Buddy. This was a product that came out of our restaurants. We were doing gallons and gallons and gallons of beans every day. So we got a bean starter created to make it easier in our restaurants. And so this is actually the same recipe we used in the restaurants, and it's available in pint jars. And so it's a great way for you to be able to have our beans at home. And it starts with just a simple pork and bean, nothing crazy. It doesn't have to be the name brand and all of that. In fact, I think it's better when it's just a simple, like what you grew up on, pork and bean. And we're gonna use this, this big 50-ounce can here. And with that, we're gonna come back and use about a half a jar of this Bean Buddy. So it's got all the molasses, it's got all the onion, all the seasoning. And as this goes on the pit, as it goes on the SmokeSlinger and starts to get a little heat, a little smoke, we're gonna put it over on a kind of a lower part of the heat. And it's just gonna sit there and reduce and simmer, and all of these flavors are gonna meld together into some fabulous smoked pit beans. So this is
unbelievable.
This is gonna be not traditional Argentinian asado, but it is very traditional American barbecue. So there we go. Already it's looking great. So you can see it's already taking on a lot of the color. As this sits on the smoker throughout the day, it's gonna thicken up. All the flavors are gonna meld together. It's gonna get very, very rich, reduce down a little bit. I do drain off some of the excess liquid out of the beans because I don't want it to be extra soupy. I want this to be nice, thick, rich, hearty pit beans. So right now we're gonna transition to asado. And in Argentina, asado is a food, it's a style, it's a lifestyle. It's when people get together. In America, we would say we're gonna have a barbecue. In Argentina, they're having an asado. So it's a style of cooking, but it's also a get together. So in an asado, you're going to have multiple courses of meats throughout the day. It's a day long, afternoon long get together with family and friends. Typically on a Sunday, families are gonna get together and have a day-long party of meat. So you get like these little meat appetizers. And the blood sausage is one of the first things that'll come out. So we've got some beautiful blood sausages here. We're gonna make a breakfast sandwich with this. So we're gonna take this on the SmokeSlinger, get it cooked up, and then we're gonna get the plancha out and make a little breakfast sandwich with the blood sausage. So a little take on asado.
That's amazing. I'm looking forward to a breakfast and egg sausage, blood sausage, straight from Argentina. These
are from Argentina. Yep.
Wow.
These were made in Argentina, and we were able to source them here in the States. So we're gonna keep this very simple. It's a simple breakfast sandwich. We're gonna take some Italian bread. We're gonna put some Kerrygold butter on it. We're gonna toast it off on the SmokeSlinger plancha. And then we're gonna take our grilled blood sausage and add that to an egg that we're gonna make on the plancha as well. So just a very simple blood sausage breakfast sandwich. I mean, this is like
we gotta be
team. Team. So we can butterfly a couple of them and then cook the other couple whole, and then egg on top.
Perfect.
So this is the delicious gelatinous inside of the blood sausage.
What is it though?
What is it? What could it be? So we've got fire below the plancha right here, running about 400 degrees, 450 degrees right now, getting nice and hot. So we're gonna start with our blood sausage just off of the plancha, getting some of that smoke and some of that heat rolling off of it and coming this way. We've butterflied 2 of them open so that we can see how that works, getting some sear kind of on the inside, and then we've left 3 of them whole. And we're gonna let these come up to temperature. They're fully cooked already, so we're really just bringing them up to temperature and bringing a little bit of that grilled flavor to it. And then our pit beans, which we prepped earlier, are gonna just hang out here all day. And we got a little garlic we're gonna roast for a surprise later on. All right, so we're gonna get ready to start making our sandwich. We've got some nice Italian bread here. How do you feel about that? That's a beautiful sizzle. So we've got a little Kerrygold butter on there.
You know, there is something to the compression when you're doing bread like this. You got to compress it just a little bit.
I mean, you can see this thing's already getting
Come
nice
on.
and toasty.
We're there.
What I don't want is for it to buckle in the center. I want to make sure I'm getting toasted in the center.
Smells so good, dude.
Look at that. I mean, that's like seconds. That's like seconds.
Beauty. You can see that sizzle right on the bread.
That is beautiful. So we're just going to toast that on the other side.
So what's unique about using one plancha today? We have all of our heat on one side currently. So what we can do, and I suggest, is that as we go through this, we're able to keep our hot goods warm by simply transitioning them over to our expanded metal side. That way, everything will be prepared about the same time. It's important when we orchestrate our foods.
And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I've got these nice and toasted. I even toasted the bottom just a little bit, so it's got that texture all the way through. Man. Oh yeah. I would say that's perfect temperature.
Show me what you got there.
Little yard bird.
You ain't had eggs until you had yardbird eggs.
We have an excellent color underneath. Four for 4 without breaking the yolk. 4-time world champ.
Way to go.
Oh man.
That's the trick, isn't it? Yeah, tell me about heat management on this. What's your thoughts, Todd, with this halfway off the charcoal?
Yeah, so the reason I put these over here is because I've got a charcoal line about right here. And so I want these to get a little crispy and hot, but I've got a cool zone. So I've really got a 2-zone setup here by just sliding this over about a third or about a quarter of the way. And you can see, look at that sizzle. You can see the heat coming off of there and reflecting off of the skin. We've got caramelization. Now this is a very, very tender sausage because of what its makeup. There's a lot of gelatinous material in there, so we want to be careful that we're not killing it. And we could probably dry this out really quickly. Our eggs are looking great. I mean, the color on that was like in seconds.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of these and take that egg.
Bam.
And we've got a blood sausage breakfast sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go inside and try them. We're gonna make some chimichurri for these. We're gonna take some of Alfragone's spicy chimichurri. The spicy is the go-to for me. And we're not gonna measure it, we're just gonna do it. So we're gonna take some of the chimichurri and we're gonna make about equal parts seasoning. So we're gonna take equal parts chimichurri mix, some red wine vinegar. So all of this is dehydrated ingredients. And what we wanna do is we wanna rehydrate it with the red wine vinegar. I like doing something like a red wine vinegar versus an apple cider. It's just a little more mellow and very Argentinian to use red wine. You know, they're a big Malbec producing country. They're starting to get into some Pinots, but they also produce a lot of really, really fine olive oils. So we're gonna do about 2 parts olive oil to what we did with the red wine vinegar. So we've got a nice little chimmy here. All right, so if we're gonna do blood sausage and we're doing our traditional Argentinian asado, I think we need to have just a little chimmy on there.
Just, wow, just a drizzle. The smell coming off of that is intense. I can smell all those herbs. It's incredible.
I mean, that's beautiful.
Red pepper flakes in there.
Yep. So now, let's cut into this guy and see what happens.
Ooh.
Our egg is perfect. The yolk is runny, but the white is fully cooked through. There's beautiful color on it. The little crispy edges. And then we've got our blood sausage. Everything on the SmokeSlinger right on that plancha. All right, you want to
Certainly do.
You want to indulge with me?
Cheers.
All right.
Wow.
You're gonna have to bleep this out, but holy.
So explain to me the layers you got.
Well, we're gonna add another layer.
Oh, it's not done.
We're gonna add, now that I've tasted it,
But wait, there's more.
it's missing, not missing, but there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity for some acid here. So we're gonna take a lemon, put just a little bit of acid on there, a little citrus, and see how that changes things. Tell me what you think.
Well, you can hear that crunch way over here behind the camera. So what did the acid do?
Thank you for kicking it over to me. Typically, when we're preparing dishes, we have a fat, we have an acid, we have a base, salts also come into play. It really helps to enhance the flavor. In this case, by adding in that lemon juice, that citric acid really helps to penetrate through the eggs and through the butter that's on here. Obviously, it works extremely well with the salts and the vinegars that we have, red wine vinegar today in our chimichurri. I have to tell you that although this is marked as spicy, this is not to that spice level where you have to worry about being mucho culo caliente. It's not Super fuego.
The lemon brightens it up a little bit. The citrus brightens it up. It adds a little more acid with the red wine vinegar. What I love is the texture of the blood sausage. It's got some firmness to it, but it's more of like almost like a pate type texture. But that runny yolk just brings it all together for me, is the runny yolk.
That's a good way of explaining the texture of the sausage, being that it's pate-like. It does not have that consistency of those that are familiar with, say, like an Italian sausage or a bratwurst that you might have at the ballpark or your backyard. This is much more of a creamy sausage, a softer texture, and it complements the eggs, which are obviously soft to begin with. The butter and the bread, although we hear that crispness, it's not crisp to the point where you feel like you're crunching your teeth on this.
It's still soft in the middle.
It is, yeah.
I don't know. I'm maybe a little partial, but I think that's perfectly good. It's really, really good.
Awesome.
Holy cow.
Stage 1, asado, done.
Done.